Hey everybody, today we're going to practice something a bit different. We're going to be practicing some skipping and running rhythms. Now, you have heard these before. We've done this in first grade with I have a little puppy, his hair is white and gray. So if you think back and if you were with me in first grade, and even second grade we did that game, we were singing and moving to some skipping and running rhythms. So today we're going to take that and make it a little bit more complex, a little bit more difficult. So I am going to share with you a little screen of some movements that we're going to do today. All right, so we have our skipping rhythms, as I said, and we also have running and stepping rhythms. When we talk about stepping rhythms, we would say the word step. How many sounds does that have? Excuse me, how many syllables does that have? One, right? We would say step. So we would do that in the same way we would step with our feet. So step. So let's just walk around. So stand up, find a little bit of room, and you don't have to have a lot of room, and just walk in place. Give you a second to stand. Okay, so let's just say step, and we're going to step. Here we go. Step, 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 step. Good. Easy, right? We're going to make it a little harder later, but that's pretty easy right now. Now let's move over to our skipping. So we have skipping. Everybody say it with me. Skipping. All right, so let's just try to skip around a little bit and say skipping, skipping, skipping. Here we go. Skipping, 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 stop. Awesome job. I'm going to combine those two. I'm going to say step, step, skipping, step. Say that with me. Ready, go. Step, step, skipping, step. Awesome job. Okay, let's move to the running end. Running end is a little bit different, and it has 3 sounds to it. So listen, running and. So count that with me. Running and. All right, so instead of just step or skipping, we now have 3. So we would use our tiptoes and say running and. Let's try it together. Ready, go. Running and. All right, let's see if we can do it all together and keep going. Running and running and running. Here we go. Running and running and running and running and running and running and stop. Good. All right, I'm going to combine them. So I'm going to do step, skipping, running, and step. So that was step, skipping, running, and step. See if you can do it. Ready, go. Step, skipping, running, and step. Awesome job combining. I'm going to give you another one. Running and skipping, running, and step. You try it. Ready, go. Running and skipping, running, and step. Awesome job. Okay, let's do one more. Skipping, step, running, and skipping. Your turn. Ready, go. Skipping, step, running, and skipping. Awesome job. Okay, now let's look at these a little differently. Let's look at them as musical notes or rhythms. Do you notice that there's something a little extra on that ta or that quarter note there? Right, we have a dot. That's because this step is a little bit longer than a regular ta. So instead of just ta, we have ta. It's a little extra on the end. Let's move on and see what's next. We have skipping. Now we have 2 musical notes together. We have our ta, no dot there this time, but we now have one little T sister. 1/8 note that's attached. So we have a long sound and a short sound. Skipping. All right, let's see what running end looks like. There it is. Kind of looks like a TT or a tika tika, right? But it has 3 sounds. So we're going to use 3 T's or 3/8 notes. And remember we said before, anytime we have flags, we can combine them together. So that's why these 3/8 notes can look like that barred together. So we have our running end. So we have step, skipping, running end. Okay, now that we see them, I'm going to ask you to grab an instrument that you might have at home, or some pots and pans you might have at home, or basically anything that you can just tap on. So maybe even your desk, or you can just use your hands or your head or whatever works for you. I'm going to use an instrument, and I'm going to go get that right now over on my instrument shelf. I'm just going to use a simple drum. Now, if you have a drum at home, great. If not, no worries. You can use whatever you want. So instead of using it in our feet and our bodies, we're now going to use it in our hands. So if you need to pause the video and go get an instrument, go do that now. Or even some pots and pans from your kitchen, but ask your families first. Okay, so instead of doing step with our feet, we're now going to do step with our instrument. And instead of doing skipping with our feet, we're going to go skipping. And of course, we're going to do running and. All right, be my echo. I'm going to combine them together. Step, step, skipping, step. Good. Next one. Running and skipping step. Good. Now I'm going to change it to skipping, skipping, running and skipping. Your turn. Good. One more. Step, 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 running and. You try it. Step. Awesome job. All right, I would like you to make up some on your own. And you also have some other activities to do with our skipping rhythms. There's a listening activity, and there's an activity where you can combine some rhythms together. All right, I will see you guys next time. Bye.